There's a girl's name that goes here. She said her name once.
Okay. So one of the things we spoke about last time was the two pairs of tefillin. We were talking about what are the differences between Chassidic way of life and those who are Orthodox, follow Torah, but not the path of Chassidus. And we gave a few examples. I gave a list, if you remember. One of them was about tefillin. I said that the difference is between Rashi's tefillin and Rabeinu Tam. So let me just refresh your memories. That to wear tefillin for a man is an obligation. There's no question about that. It's a pasuk, it's a verse in the Torah, explicit in the Shema, where it says every man should wear tefillin every day. We put one on the head, we put one on the arm, all that is clear. And the general way tefillin looks like this, everybody agrees. There's a shin here, there's a shin there, but the difference is in the details. What are the differences? I want to show you this. This is the one that goes on the head. How do I know? Maybe it's the one that goes on the arm. So the answer is, when you look inside, okay, I'll pass it around soon, but you see inside there's 4 compartments. So there are 4 portions in the tefillin, which are written by a scribe on parchment, 4 parts of the Torah. In each one of these 4 parts, it says, it speaks about the mitzvah of wearing tefillin. So one begins with the word Shema, which we say in the davening. One begins with the word V'haya and Shemoah. It's also part of the Shema. One begins with Kadesh. It really needs a H at the end. The other one is V'haya Ki V'yacha, 4th portion. So the tefillin is a piece of parchment with 4 portions. Is it separate pieces of parchment or one long piece of parchment with all 4? So that's the difference between the head and the arm. The one on the head has 4 compartments, and the one on the arm has 1 piece of parchment, and all the 4 portions are written on the same 1 piece of parchment. So you don't have this one on the arm. The one on the arm also doesn't have the shin here. And that's why on the outside you see these lines, because this is really 4 separate pieces, and they're sort of glued together.
Is it heavy? Does it slip?
It's not heavy, but it could slip because how does it stay on the head? With straps around the head, and these straps are not like perfect, so it moves a little bit here and there. But it says in the Torah, you should put the tefillin between your eyes. So where is it? Did you ever see a man wearing tefillin between their eyes? Right, this would be between your eyes, it'd be over here. But I never saw anyone wear tefillin like that. But there are a group of people, they're called Karayim or Tzedukim. These are people who believe only in the written Torah and not in the oral Torah. So when they see something written Torah, they interpret it literally. So it says, between your eyes, they would wear the tefillin right here. What do we say? There's an oral tradition that was passed down from Moshe Rabeinu when he gave the mitzvah, And he explained between the eyes means it should be on the head, but between the eyes. So it's on top of the head, but which area between the eyes? In fact, most people will use a little mirror or something to make sure that it's actually there. And this is considered one of the most important mitzvahs that men have. And the reason being is because it says that this is a mitzvah that in some ways it's equivalent to all other mitzvahs. It includes all other mitzvahs. And part of the reason for that is because why do we put it on the head, on the heart? It means I'm binding my heart, I'm binding my head to do what Hashem wants. It's not really the heart, we're putting it on the head. But I think I told you, the way the man's tefillin is, it's a little bit on the side, which means it's on the arm, but it's pointing to the heart. And points to the heart. And the reason that and what the significance is that I'm binding my emotions and my intellect to Hashem. I'm submitting myself, my mind and my heart to Hashem. And if the mind and the heart are directed to Hashem, then all the other organs in the body will go in the right direction. They'll do what they have to do because the mind and the heart, they are the conductors of the whole entire body. So that's why we put the tefillin on. And what are we doing? We're basically saying that my mind and my heart is going to be dedicated to that which is written in these boxes, which is the tefillin. Why don't young children do it? We know that we train children from a very young age to keep Shabbos, to keep kosher, to wear a kippah, to wear the tzitzit, everything, all the commandments. We educate our children from a very young age, as long as it's possible, that they should do it. Because if you don't do it for 13 years, and then you become bar mitzvah, or a girl becomes bas mitzvah, and for 12 years in her life, she didn't keep Shabbos, and then at the age of bas mitzvah, she starts keeping it, it's going to be very difficult. So we train our children to observe the mitzvahs from a young age. And this is one exception. This mitzvah they don't do until they become bar mitzvah. In order to be a little bit more familiar, in some places they start a month before bar mitzvah. Chabad custom is to start 2 months before bar mitzvah, but not much before. Why? Anyone know the reason? The reason is because what goes into these boxes is actual parchment, like a Torah scroll. It's a piece of parchment, and the scribe writes the words from the Torah. Hashem's name is spelled out fully, Yud, then the letter Hey, then the letter Vav, and the letter Hey, and it's written numerous times, spelled out fully, numerous times, and that means you have on your body something which is very holy. And because of that, our conduct while we're wearing the tefillin has to be extremely refined. We have to be very careful what comes out of our mouths, what's going on in our thoughts, how we're acting, and we're not tzaddikim, so really it's very difficult to be careful. And therefore, we wait until the child is more mature, which is the age of bar mitzvah. But before that, the Torah doesn't think that a child is capable of carrying something with such responsibility to walk around with something so holy on them. In fact, if you remember when we spoke about this, I told you that years ago, people would wear this all day. Men would wear this all the time. Even if they went to work, they would wear it. And we're studying Torah, they would wear it. They only took it off at night. So why did we stop? For the same reason, because years ago, people were on a higher spiritual level. So therefore, they were constantly aware and conscious that they're wearing this, and they were very careful with the way they conducted themselves. Today, people are spiritually weaker, and therefore, it's a tremendous responsibility to have this on our arms and on our head and not be conducting ourselves in a proper way. So we don't wear it all day, only during davening. And children don't even wear it during davening because they can't live up to that responsibility until they're bar mitzvah. So this is the issue. There are 4 portions of the Torah. What's the order? The difference between Rashi and Rabeinu is only one difference, the order. Is the order this way or is it a different way? But according to Rashi, you're not fulfilling the mitzvah if you beg it the wrong order. According to the others, say Rabeinu Tam, you're not fulfilling the mitzvah that's according to the other order. So therefore, there's certain custom, certain communities, mainly Sephardic and Chassidic communities, that they put on both pairs. One in the order according to Rashi, and the other according to Rabeinu Tam. Yeah.
What are those two other? So the Rabeinu did 4 pairs of tefillin. What are those?
So there's two others, right? There's 4 pairs of tefillin, and there's they have a name. One is called Ravid, they're named after the authority that says this is the way it should be. Just like this is named Rashi, because Rashi is the authority that rules it should be this way. Rabeinu Tam is another authority, halachic authority, that said it should be differently. So there's 2 more, and it's also named according to those authorities. One is Ravid, and one is Shemusha D'Rabba. If anyone is sort of interested to see what it's called and where they are, let me see if I can give you the place in Hayom Yom where you can look it up. A second. So it's coming up actually in a little while. It's the 19th of Av, the month of Av, the 19th. And there it describes if you are wearing 4 pairs of tefillin, how do you do that? If you would be men and you'd be interested in putting on 4 pairs of tefillin, I'd spend the time explaining the difference, but I don't think it's relevant because hardly anybody does this. This is really only selected people wear 4 pairs of tefillin. Everybody else wears either 1 pair, and again, Chassidim and Sephardic Jews wear 2 pairs. But if somebody is going to say, okay, I can't do that, I just want to wear 1 pair, which of the 2 should I wear? So the main halacha is Rashi. That should be the tefillin to wear. Okay, so Rachel, if you don't mind, you can pass this around. So the girls kind of go to look at it and see just what it looks like. This is all made of leather, it's parchment. The whole procedure, how to put it together. And
Did you already tell the difference between Rashi and Rabeinu Tam structurally?
no, structurally, they're both the same. There are different customs about the shin. You'll see the shin has, some shins have 3 heads, some have 4.
So why do you need 2 pairs? Why don't you use 1 pair 2 times a day?
No, because inside the parchment is written differently, it's a different order.
Where's the hair?
Okay, I don't know if it's there. I don't think it's in there.
Is it leather?
What?
Is it leather?
Yeah. It's all from skin of animals. So Rachel brought something up, which is, they do, how do I know which is which? If on the outside they look exactly the same, how do I know I'm putting on the right one? So the answer is, we have these boxes, and on the box, you write Rashi or Rabeinu Tam. If you look at this one, small words, it says Rashi.
Why can't they be blue?
Why what?
Why are they black and not blue?
Because if they were blue, you'd want to know why they're blue, not black.
Well,
No,
blue-
besides that
blue
reason.
is like Tefillin.
No,
White
no.
is like nothing.
No, chelet is the color of the tzitzis. But this is also, it's called halacha Moshe Sinai, which means when Moshe Rabeinu gave this mitzvah, it was passed down that it has to be black. This and also the straps that hang down all have to be black. In fact, if it wouldn't be black, it would be disqualified. It wouldn't be observing the mitzvah. What? It used to belong to me. But something went wrong with it, so we couldn't use it anymore. And you'll see on top it's chipped a little bit. Actually, the black got chipped, and that's why it wasn't used anymore.
They couldn't just repaint it?
But it was more than paint. I think something was chipped. Certain substance fell off. Yeah. The other subject I wanted to talk about is also a subject many people ask questions regarding the growing of a beard. Is that halacha? Is that Kabbalah? Is that an obligation? And could somebody be a fully complete Orthodox Jew without a beard? So I want to give you a little bit of the background. And that is, there is a place in the Torah where it says not to cut the hair of the face. Want to see if it's too heavy?
Yeah, it's like, it's not light.
What?
It's not light.
It's not light. So you're always aware that Hashem is on top of you.
Can you see the scriptures? Are they in plain sight?
No, they're not in there.
Embedded in. Oh, yeah,
No, of course. Actually, you're supposed to take out what's written. You're supposed to take it out every few years, at least 2 times in 7 years, and recheck it to see that none of the letters faded away, nothing got damaged, and everything is intact. Because if the letter gets erased or the ink fades, then it's also no longer qualified. Rashi, who I just mentioned before, Rashi had daughters, no sons. And it says that Rashi's daughters used to wear tefillin. That means a woman is allowed to, but it's not customary for women to wear tefillin. So the other thing is about the beard. What's the source for that? I really should make a copy and show you the Chumash. This is all found in the book of Vayikra, in the parsha called Kedoshim, where it talks about not cutting part of the face or part of it's called payas. What is that all about? So there's 2 things. One thing is the beard, and the second thing is what we call the side of this hair that's on the side. So according to Torah, there has to be, a man has to leave the hair over here, grow it a little bit, but not long. There's a bone right here. The hair has to go until this bone, not much. The fact that you see other Chassidim have long, what we call payas, is going beyond the letter of the law, but halachically there's no requirement for that. That's done according to Kabbalah. And the reason why Chabad doesn't do it, thank you, is because in Kabbalah itself there are 2 opinions, and Chabad follows the opinion in Kabbalah that it's better not, it should not be long. It's another discussion. But what's with halacha?
Kids, people leave it, and it's so cute.
What?
On little kids, they leave the pants come out, and it's so cute.
Yeah, well, people will tell you it's a matter of, some people like it this way, some people like it that way, like any haircut. Some people like to take a haircut one way. What could be more controversial than hair? You want your hair this way, you want your hair that way, you know? So, but the Torah says that this should be, the payas have to be there. But the beard, there's two different things. One is halacha. According to halacha, there are opinions that say that a man is not allowed to cut the beard, and there are opinions that say that it's perfectly okay. And when it says in the Torah not to cut the beard, it means with a razor. But any other way, a razor apparently cuts the hair with the roots, and that's something which is not allowed. But if you're not using a razor, then it's okay. And that's why there are people who are 100% Orthodox Jews. They study Torah all day, they pray 3 times a day, They do every mitzvah, they're God-fearing, but they won't necessarily have a beard. And it's not a contradiction. They're following halachic authorities that say that it's permissible to have and cut the beard. Then there are opinions in halacha that say that you're not allowed to cut the beard. That's halacha. According to Kabbalah, according to the mystical teachings of Torah, it says that a person should not cut the beard. And the reason that's given in Kabbalah is, we know there are a few places in the books of the prophets where it talks about a vision, a prophetic vision that a Navi had, that a prophet had. And in some places it describes Hashem. One of them is in the book of Daniel, and it describes Hashem as white hair and a white beard. Well, we know Hashem doesn't have hands and feet, and doesn't have a face, and doesn't have a beard, so it's all a metaphor. But obviously it's talking about a certain spiritual level that's metaphorically being described as Hashem's beard. And by the way, the same is in the Chumash. In the Torah itself, it says that when the Jews went out of Egypt, Hashem led them out of Egypt with an outstretched arm. Hashem doesn't have an arm. Let our prayers reach Hashem's ears, but he doesn't have ears. There's another verse that says Hashem has his eyes on the tzaddikim and watches them, where Hashem has his eyes on the land of Israel, but he has no eyes. So whenever it uses a term of eyes, hands, feet, and mouth in reference to Hashem, and the same is with a beard or hair, it's all a metaphoric way of describing some sort of spiritual aspect. But nevertheless, why do we refer to it as a hand? Why do we refer to it as an eye? Why do we refer to it as a beard? The reason is, one of the reasons that are given, is because everything in the physical realm evolves from the spiritual realm. This is one of the main things we study in Chassidus. So the fact that we have a physical body, and we have a soul, and we have physical eyes, and physical hands, and physical feet, doesn't exist anywhere else except within us, but everything in the physical realm evolves from the spiritual realm. So there's something there that's the source, that is the source for eyes. And something, a different level is the source for ears. And a different level is the source for the brain. And a different level is the source for the heart. So there's also something up there which is the source for the beard. And what is it? So one of the things that it says in Kabbalah is the beard, the spiritual aspect which is represented by a beard is the 13 attributes of mercy. We know in the davening, it's from the Chumash, happened when the Jewish people worshipped the golden calf and they were going to be punished. Moshe Rabeinu appealed with Hashem that he should cancel whatever punishment he wants to give them. And he said a special prayer. The prayer was to pronounce Hashem's 13 attributes of mercy. Liquids, if you cut the pipe, you can bring it in. So the beard, the physical beard, is sort of a pipe and a conduit that through this, Hashem's 13 attributes of mercy are transmitted to the person down here in this world. And that's why, according to Kabbalah, it's important to have the beard and not to cut it. So if somebody asks the question, is it halachically permissible to cut the beard? The answer is absolutely. Other opinions say that it's not. It's also true. Why do Sephardic Jews and Chassidic Jews, those are the ones that mainly focused on the beard? Because according to Kabbalah, it's not acceptable to cut the beard. And Sephardic Jews and Chassidic Jews follow more the Kabbalah. I think I told the story once, but now that we're talking about a beard, I'll tell the story again. And that is, there was a woman whose son became religious, and she wasn't very happy about it. She was not a happy camper. And with girls, it's a little bit easier. You become religious, but there's nothing that happens so much that you look so different, except for maybe modest clothing. But when a guy becomes religious and starts letting his beard grow, sometimes parents really get hysterical because they really look very different. So this mother was getting hysterical, and she wrote to the Rebbe. that she did her research and she found out that you could be a religious Jew, an Orthodox Jew, without the beard. And she's asking the Rebbe for a favor. Please talk to my son or tell my son that he should cut off his beard because she can't handle it. But the Rebbe gave her a very beautiful answer. And the Rebbe wrote as follows. It's in the letters of the Rebbe in English. He writes like this, that if you have a building that's 4 stories high, it's a perfect building, it's a beautiful building, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you have a building that's 5 stories, 5 floors, then you take a bulldozer and you knock down the top floor to make it 4 stories. In that case, you weaken the entire building, and it's possible that you even weaken the foundation. What's the analogy? If a person never had a beard because they believe you can be an Orthodox Jew without a beard, that's one thing. But if a person already added the beard to his structure of Judaism, and then you try to force him to go down and bring it down, by doing that, you're weakening that person's Judaism, and you might even be weakening his very foundation because he already had it. He was there already, and now you're going back, you're going down. When you go down, you weaken things in a very strong way. With the beard. Right. The beard, the clothing, you can wear a black hat that's this big, and you can wear a black jacket that goes down to the floor, and you can close your eyes and go like that. These are all, and a beard is also external. So I once heard a story with a Chassidic rabbi that somebody did business with one of his Chassidim, and he was a crook. He robbed all his money. And he came to the rabbi and said, Rabbi, your Chassid, he's a liar, he's a cheater, I lost all my money. So, and he has a beard. So the rabbi says, no, he's clean shaven. He says, no, Rabbi, he has a beard. So the rabbi answered, he's clean shaven, but it's covered with a beard. It's disguised with a beard. So there's 2 possibilities. One possibility is that a person is not honest. Inside, they're corrupt, but on the outside, they pretend that they're not. The other possibility is something else. Is it possible for a person to do something good in one area, but they have a big Yetzer Hara in another area? Is that possible? Let's say somebody will keep Shabbos, but he doesn't eat kosher. Why? Because I love this food which is not kosher and I can't control it. Does that mean that their Shabbos that they keep is not good? No. When it comes to Shabbos, they have no Yetzer Hara, so they keep Shabbos. But they're not kosher food, they love and they can't control themselves, so they do. Or other things that people might do. So therefore, it could be possible a person has a beard because that's not so hard, and he has no Yetzer Hara to touch it, but he has the Yetzer Hara to do something else. So in one area he's okay, in another area is not okay. And I think it's very important for all of us to know that Judaism is not a package deal. It's either everything or nothing. It's not true. Every mitzvah you do is something which is precious to Hashem. And I shouldn't say, well, if I can't do all the things, what's the point? If you approach a woman and you say, would you like to light Shabbos candles? And she'll say, what's the point? I'm going to be going to work. I'm not going to keep Shabbos anyway. And the answer is, doesn't matter if you don't keep Shabbos. It doesn't take away from the positive thing that you do, that you lit the Shabbos candles. We're not saying to compromise. We're just saying that not doing A doesn't take away from the good of B. That's the point. Did I answer your question? Okay. What? Oh, mercy, Hashem's mercy. And by me having the beard, I'm drawing down in my life Hashem's mercy, which is Hashem's bracha, basically. Okay, to be continued.
You're welcome.
Murray from left.
Okay, you came just on time.
Thank you.
But you don't have to have a beard. Don't worry.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Oh, Miriam, you left something on my desk.
Oh, yes, my chocolate. I forgot them.
I'm going down. I'll open the door.